Hello everybody, I am Jedi Jack Penguin and welcome back to another LEGO Disney review. Today, my mind is blown that I have two of these in front of me. This is set number 43269, 101 Dalmatian Puppy. It includes 1,722 pieces, retailing for $150 in the US when it released on June 1st of 2025. When the rumors hit that we were getting LEGO 101 Dalmatian sets, I couldn't believe it, and I still can't believe that this is something that actually exists. It's just beautiful and will for sure end up being one of my favorite sets of this year 2025. And that's not to mention the small counterpart to this set number 43271, Lucky and Penny 101 Dalmatian Puppies. It's really amazing to get Lucky. And you could even make this Dalmatian puppy into Lucky, though not exactly into Lucky. We'll find out exactly for sure once we bust this thing open, as I'm pretty sure the instructions include specific details to make whatever puppy you want, and they even include stickers for all the different name tags. Looking at the box art, as an 18+ display set, we get a plain black background with a faint blue light behind your character. We see the 101 Dalmatians logo, which it's interesting to see that this set doesn't specifically have a name on the box. This is something that it looks like LEGO has started doing with these 18+ sets, just having the logo for the property, not exactly a name for the set on the box. You get your greebling from the bottom with your details, and we'll spin one of these around so you can take a look at some of the features for this set, where you can have this puppy posed in either this downward dog position or in a standard sitting position. You get your measurements as well as some other little close-up pictures of your puppy. Now, without a further ado, let's bust one of these open. I will be building both of them and showing both of them side by side, just for the sake of maybe one day I'll have 101, or more specifically 99. 101 is including the two parents, by the way, if you didn't know. Opening up the box, we have 12 numbered bags to build this set, in addition to your instructions that are included in this paper folder or paper bag, I guess. I don't really agree with LEGO using these as compared to the cardboard folders. These don't really keep the instructions as safe. It's just disappointing that they've gone this far, and I guess I should mention we're still plastic bags. No big surprise. That's what I was talking about. Here we have the sticker sheet for this set, which includes the puppy tongue as well as an unnamed tag, and then we get the names of 6 of Purdy and Pongo's puppies: Lucky, Patch, Rolly, Penny, Freckles, and Pepper. Very, very pleased to see that these exist. I would have loved to have seen these as printed pieces, or more specifically, I kinda wish that these two were printed. The rest of these I would have been totally fine if they were just included as stickers. I'm interested to see if they do include multiple tiles to place these stickers on, so if you want change your mind on what Dalmatian puppy you would like to make, you can just make whoever you want, but we'll find out when we get there. We have our instructions. We have this one, bags 1 through 4. This one, bags 5 through 6. This one, bags 7 through 8. And then this one, bags 9 through 12. Why are we getting 4 instruction booklets in an 18+ set? I do not understand. LEGO probably thinks that this set will bring in a new audience. That's probably why the instructions are the way that they are, that we're getting 4 of them. It is just kind of weird for someone like me who has been building LEGO a lot in their lives. Taking a quick peek from the front of that first instruction booklet, as you would in most 18+ display sets, you get some information about the set and the designer and such, and we also get a lovely picture just showcasing the set next to that smaller set as well. This set is made so you can customize your own puppy. You can make Patch, which is probably one that I will start by making. You can make Penny, which is one of the characters that you get in the smaller set. Can make Lucky. I hope that they include some special instructions to make his back spots. I really do hope that they do that. We have Freckles. We have Roly Poly. Pepper. And that's it. Wait, where's the information from the designer? Flipping around the instructions, it doesn't look like there's any information from the designer, which is a pity because this was one of the last few sets released by the designer Marcus Besa, who just recently left LEGO. Though I guess I could show that they do have pages highlighting how you can customize your Dalmatian. You can give them one eye patch, you can give them one black ear, one white ear, two black ears, two white ears. Can take the tongue out, you can keep the tongue in, and again we have the poses which you can customize by either having the downward dog or the standard sitting position. All built up, here we have Patch from 101 Dalmatians. We're gonna start by just taking a general look in the sitting position and then work our way into transforming it into that downward dog. Then we're gonna finish up by just customizing the heck out of this set. I'm really excited to see what we can do to make some of these other dogs from the film. Starting with the head design, we use lots of slope pieces to give it its rounded look. You can see the nose from the front. We get a small clip piece in the mouth area. This is so then you can attach the tongue if you want to, which is a stickered piece connected with a translucent clip. You can easily plop that in if you want to have Patch sticking his tongue out or not. Nice and easy to put on or remove if you don't want to have it in. We also get these exclusive prints for the eyes, which I really love how those look on those dish pieces. They give a little bit of extra shine to this character. I also wanted to point out the black sausage pieces for the eyebrows, which I think is really cute. You can see we have one eye without the patch and one eye with the patch. You do have the option to build either side. You can only build one at a time though. Unless you buy more than one set, you can actually accomplish something somewhat silly there. Same thing but different for the ear designs, where you can have either one white or two white, or one black or two black. Either side doesn't really matter, you can switch it up. It's really great to see that they give you so many different ways to customize that head. I do want to talk about the connection here. In order to get that sort of flap look for the ears, we do use those hinge plate pieces. And you can see we get more slopes from the back just to continue rounding that out, as well as the head design, which does have a small part that we can remove, but we'll talk more about that later. Moving down to the neck area, we do get a little bit of fluff down there. We are missing some key spots that you typically see on Patch from the front of his neck area, but it's fine. They can't really capture every little detail. These are just the standard spot designs for just all of the Dalmatians. They all pretty much have the same designs in the instruction manual, which is a little unfortunate that they didn't really go too far out to give them special spots depending on what character they are. But I do want to talk about collars, which is a big thing that just needs to be talked about as far as 101 Dalmatians merchandise is concerned. We have this red collar for Lucky because he is a male dog, compared to a character like Penny, who would have a blue collar because she's a female. Now, in the original film, 101 Dalmatians, and its sequel film, 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure, they follow this to a T. Now, where they stop following this rule is when they get to the live-action films, where the original live-action film reverses this, where now the males have the blue collars and the females have the red collars. They also completely change it up in the sequel to that, 102 Dalmatians, where now they just don't even think about that rule at all. The TV series, it varies. Of course, 101 Dalmatian Street is its entirely own entity compared to 101 Dalmatians the series, which is one of my favorite shows, by the way, which is also why I wanted to make Lucky right off the bat as one of my favorite characters. But again, I do appreciate LEGO following the rules set by the first original film, where the boys have the red collars and the girls have the blue collars. Lots of 101 Dalmatian merchandise does not follow this rule to a T, so again, I just have to say it as something that I appreciate LEGO following the source material. Back to the collars, we do get a clip piece connection where you can place a little tag. Here we have the tag for Patch. All of these are going to be stickered. You get 6 of them in this set for 6 of Pongo and Purdy's puppies. And we also get a tag with just a plain old star if you want to just have a plain old puppy running around in the mix. Moving around the body, I love seeing these giant shell pieces from the very front, and you'll also see one from the very back here just to give the general shaping. Lots and lots of slope pieces building on the sides, knot techniques. You'll also notice that we do get spots from the sides and the front and even the other side of the legs. I love that they include spots down here. It's a spot that you wouldn't think would have spots, and again, they're also somewhat different depending on like where they're placed and everything. Like we have these 2 over here and those 2 over there compared to the 3 and 2 over there like that. And They did a nice job just giving different placements and even having some from the very back here. I do wish that they made some special prints to give like spots to certain areas. Like I wish that they included another clamshell piece that had special spots to create Lucky's back, because I had to make that by scratch and use Scotch tape of all things to attach all of that. I bet there's a better way to accomplish that technique, but still looking at the instructions and what they had for the spot placement, or I guess they didn't really have very much pictures as far as spot placement for the different puppies. You're really just gonna have to look up your favorite pup online and eyeball it based on the spots that LEGO gives you. Again, I plan on going through each and every puppy towards the end of this video and just showing different ideas as far as making them with the pieces that you get within the set. Finishing up with the anatomy of this dog, we have these longer front legs and these shorter back legs for the sitting position. These can be reversed when you change it into the downward dog, which I'll show very, very soon. But I just wanted to just highlight how they made these, like the shaping of everything is very dog-like and perfect. I love the paws from the front and the back being very similar designs as far as like the feet go. I do wish that they had some paw beans from the bottom side, but still there's only so much that you can do. And finally that brings us to the tail design, which gives us our other point of motion for this set, where you can move the tail, wag it back and forth. Unfortunately, you don't get any movement at the top of the tail, though I guess you could just pick it up and place it on the other side if you don't want it to be the way that it is. Again, this is really the only movement in the set, aside from the fact that you can move the head back and forth. You get that Technic axle that runs all the way through to allow this. To turn him into his downward dog position, we do have to move certain parts around and just take him apart. Like, for instance, the head. So we're going to take this back piece off first. And we're going to just lift this up. And put the head down on the ground. We're also going to remove this flap over here. And pour out these 2 pieces that are hidden inside the body. You can hide it nice and easily in the standing position. And we're going to put that right back. We're going to take off the legs, 2 front legs, and the 2 back legs. This also gives us a better look at the inside building here as far as just how we place the legs into the body and everything. A lot of the Technic pieces being used for that, as well as the head design and the placement of that. Now that he's all taken apart, let's put him back together. We're going to start with these once front legs that are now becoming the back legs. You'll see that we have 3 different technicals in here. They're placed in certain positions, like we have these 2 right here for when they're front legs, but then we switch it up by putting the 2 from the very top for it being the back leg there. We'll do the same thing with this one. And we can place him down like such. Now, when it comes to the once back legs that are now the front legs, we do have to do one extra step where we can remove the front paws. And we're going to add this extra spacer piece in the middle, which we found in the very back of the puppy, to make them a little bit longer from the front, which this I love. I love that they did this instead of just keeping it short like that. We're going to do the same thing over here, placing that spacer piece in the middle. And now we can connect these to the front. And again, just like those once front legs that are now back legs, we have 3 different technicals that work in order to change the positioning of these legs. And lastly, that brings us to the head, which inside the head, you'll notice that we have 2 sets of Technic axles. These are for the different positions. We're going to do the green ones because we want the head facing from the ground. And there you go, we have Patch in his downward dog position. We do have 1 piece left over. This was the piece that was on the back of the head piece that covers up the hole that is currently being used to create this position. So we're just gonna throw that inside the body, nice and easy storage there. Looks like while I was handling this, the ear fell off. I guess that's a better excuse than any to show that it's a clip piece connection to connect those ears there. We'll place that right back inside. I really do love this playful position. It's so adorable. Just look at him, he's so cute. Now, while we have this one in its downward dog position, I might as well bring out my custom Lucky, who is still standing in that standing position, just so then you can see how these look side by side together, both a downward dog, playful position, and a sitting up puppy. I also have to talk about this crazy thing that I somehow got a hold of. This is the store display for the 101 Dalmatians that you can find at Target, where both sets are currently retail exclusives. I really love that LEGO decided to market this set just like they marketed Simba last year. I love this display so much. We have Penny as our larger Dalmatian, even though we do not get the name tag. This is just, I guess, supposed to be a regular Dalmatian, but it looks like Penny to me. And then you get the smaller set with both Penny and Lucky and the Thunderbolt television, which I just really love seeing both Patch and Rolly on the front of this box and the 101 Dalmatians logo. It's beautiful. Really, the only thing that I have to complain about as far as the design of this thing is the black background. And also one other thing that is just kind of scary to me is how they attached the back of the neck of the larger Dalmatian and all the glue that they had to use, but I mean, it makes sense. They want to make sure this thing lasts. Wrapping up on the store display, we do get a button from the front that you can press and it'll light up. You'll see this in the store. If you press the button, it'll light up. If you see this in the store, you can test it out yourself. You get lights from the very top of the thing that shine down and blink and whatever. It's battery operated, not something that you have to plug in. Now this brings us to the portion of the video where I'm going to customize this puppy into all of the puppies that you see from the inside of the instructions and try and improve upon the designs that they're giving us, that they're not really giving us instructions as far as how to change up the spots to make these into different puppies. I'm also going to give suggestions as far as things that I think could be improved to make these characters even better. Well, I guess more specifically, there are some things in here that I disagree with as far as their design choices, but really it's not under their control because they really just have this structure to work with. I really do wish that they gave separate instructions to maybe beef up these designs, change up the body types a little bit so they aren't all the same. That's really one of my biggest issues with this set, as far as you're kind of stuck with this body type unless you really know what you're doing and want to mock something up to maybe look a little bit bigger, like Rolly, for example. I'm just a little disappointed that he has the same body type as all the other pups when he's eating so much. But anyways, bringing our instructions front and center, we have our first pup, who is Lucky, my favorite pup from 101 Dalmatians. I think that the only thing that they did here was they made both of the ears black, they removed the patch, and put his tag on, and that's about it. The spots look to be identical to the spots that we see for pretty much all of the other puppies. Like, I'd bring Freckles over here, for example. Those spots are pretty much the same. I guess they do change some small things. Like here you'll see we're missing one of the dots on the legs compared to Lucky. And of course they do add a little bit of extra spots up here, but we'll look at that in person momentarily. Now I want to show how I made Lucky special as far as the spot placement. I used lots of pictures from online just to look at different angles of his character, adding small little spots that I noticed when looking at the source material, like this little Mickey head that he has on the side of his leg, but more specifically, his defining feature in most films or television, even in the television series, is his horseshoe spots from the back, which I accomplished this using Scotch tape. And all of these pieces are pieces included within this set. If you end up buying at least 2 sets, you're going to end up with enough spots to accomplish what you see here. Now, another small thing that you may notice is that I did also include little spots from the back of his head. Those are again taped on. I did have to remove the main section from the back over here to help create that horseshoe pattern. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good, and especially just looking at the horseshoe pattern that Lego made on the Lucky that comes in that smaller Dalmatian set. You can see some similarities as far as the size of the spots are. I'm very happy with how this turned out. One thing that I think could make this even better is if I do end up transforming Lucky into that downward dog position, but then again I'm gonna have to change up some of those leg spots at that point. We'll see what happens. I'm probably gonna end up keeping this Lucky as it is long term as my favorite pup from the show. On to our next Dalmatian pup, we have Penny, who I didn't really change compared to what we see in the instructions. I did leave her tummy spots and her ear spots the same as you see here, though one major difference that you might see is that I did include spots on the opposite side. They don't give you that view in the instructions, which is a tad disappointing that they don't do this. After looking at lots of source material, this is what I came up with for this side of her body, these 3 spots as you see in the original animation. And I think the tummy spots have to stay. I really like how those turned out. Certain versions of Penny don't have spots on this side of her arm, but I did include them because we do see them in the original animation. And again, we don't have too many back shots of a lot of these characters, so it's a little hard to tell. Really, Lucky's the only one that we really get to see his back, as he has the specific spots to show the horseshoe, his Lucky horseshoe on his back. Now again, I do have to say blue collar because Penny's a girl. I did also change out her little collar, so it does say her name on there, which is a sticker. And we have those 2 white ears with the spots on them, which I think really tells her apart from the other Dalmatians. I really like how she turned out. Another thing that I guess I should mention is that there are certain versions of Penny where she does have 1 black ear and 1 white ear, which I guess I should also just pop up the picture that everyone was using of Penny when that initial rumor was going around, just showing her with that 1 black ear, 1 white ear, compared to the 2 white ears which you'll see in the original animated film. The next pup in the instructions is Roly-Poly, who I didn't really change too much compared to what you see in the instructions. I really only removed a few spots in some places. You'll notice the same spot designs for the ears. We have the 2 white ears here. And then the sides that they don't show you in the instructions based on just Google research and such, like all the other pups that I'll be showing here. Really my only issue, which is nothing that is under my control, I mean, though of course I could play around and mock this set up a little bit, is I wish he was a little bit bigger as the pup who's always hungry.
I'm hungry, Mother. I really am.
I should also mention certain media with Rolly has spots on both ears, but here I just went with what we see in the instructions that mimics him from the original animation. Again, my spot placement is based pretty much mostly on reference images like the other pups. Our next pup from the instructions is Pepper, and one thing about Pepper that I always find interesting is how they are represented as a boy in some media and a girl in others. In the case of this Lego set, Pepper is a girl as they have that blue collar. This whole topic has been debated a lot as Pepper gets mentioned in the films, but they tend to get confused easily with the other puppies. Another thing I should point out in recent merchandise is the Disney Lorcana card that clearly shows Pepper as a boy, and looking at the other cards in the series, you can see they follow the collar color rule quite well. All that aside, and talking spot placement, I feel they did a good job, especially for the ears. The belly spots are a great addition to make this pup more unique and different compared to the other pups. We'll just spin Pepper right around so you can see all the little spot choices that I decided based on the reference images and what I could find on Google. Nearing the end, Freckles is most known for the many little spots above his nose, which LEGO does represent within the instructions. Way to go, thank you for doing that. And you made my job a little bit easier as far as trying to figure out how to give him something more. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here where I'm going to bring in the Dalmatians brickheads that we got in, I think it was like 2020, 2021, where we got these printed slope pieces. Placing those printed pieces honestly doesn't look too bad, though I think it certainly could be better. Just like Lucky, I really wish that they made something unique just for this specific pup, and that's really something that I have to say about all of these characters. I really wish that they made specific parts that you could interchange between them to make them look more like the characters that they're supposed to be representing. Moving around the rest of Freckles, most of the spot placement is based on the original animation, though I did take some inspiration from 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure, where you do get quite a good shot of Freckles. Again, one of the main defining features of this character are those spots on the nose, and I'm happy that I found a way to try and represent those, even though I certainly think it could be better. To finish off the pups with tags, we have Patch, and if I had to give a face to 101 Dalmatians, he would be it, as most all merchandise feature him in some capacity. The defining feature of Patch is the spot over his eye. Another feature on Patch that is often different between media is how he has one black ear and one white ear. Patch from the original film, we get the black ear on the right side, then in his sequel movie, we see it on the left, and this is also where most promotional images come from. I should also mention that the ear isn't the only spot movement that changes between the films. Most of the spots that would be on one side are now on the other side. I don't know how that continuity issue got past them in 2002. You would think that they'd still have the references from the original movie sitting around somewhere. LEGO themselves even made a miniature version of Patch in the Disney 100 collectible minifigures, and they represented it off the sequel. Or I guess they just referenced the reference material, because that's basically what most 101 Dalmatians merchandise has. The Patch that you see on screen now. As I mentioned before, I based this version of Patch based on the sequel, 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure, because I'm very passionate about that film. We have the ear on one side, and a lot of the spot placement, it's really just reversed from the original animation. And I'll spin him around. Probably the hardest part was figuring out how to do the back, because he has a lot of bigger spots, which you'll see mostly from different angles. And I also wanted to include the little spots right above his collar on his neck. That's another defining feature. Overall, another one of my favorite pups, just like Lucky. Really love how this one turned out. So overall, for $150, is this set worth it? Well, if you're as much of a 101 Dalmatian fan as I am, you're definitely going to want to pick this up, and maybe even the small one as well, as I think they both pay really great tribute to that film. I don't know why they released this set this year, seeing as this year is the 70th anniversary of Lady and the Tramp. I was kind of thinking that they would give us those characters, though of course there's plenty of time for that in the future, and also I couldn't be happier that these exist. This set was made for me. This set is my Lego set of the year 2025. I really am so happy that this exists, that it's customizable, that you can make any of these Dalmatian pups that you would want to make. Would I have preferred a minifigure set? Of course. I mean, we are getting still one minifigure set in September, that being the Cruella DeVille's car, which will also include a teeny tiny puppy of Penny inside. I do wish that they made Pongo and Purdy in that set, though still, there's plenty of time for that in the future. Lego Disney is sticking around, especially those minifigure sets. I am excited to see what we get next year in 2026. I really would love to see a modular building type set of the Radcliffe residence with Pongo, Purdy, and all of the puppies included. That is really the set that I imagined them making as the first minifigure 101 Dalmatians set. It would really be perfect and include Horace and Jasper inside their little car, and again you'd get Cruella DeVille and both Roger and Anita. I think that would be an amazing set to get, if not the farmhouse, which I think would be the next best option as far as giving us more sets that would include the human characters and what I'm more interested in, all of those puppies. So yeah, that's all that I have to say for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you plan on getting this set, or do you already have it? And what puppy did you make, or what puppy do you plan to make from 101 Dalmatians? I should also say, if I didn't make your favorite pup in this video, I would love to make a part 2, so tell me in the comments below if there's a certain Dalmatian pup that you'd like me to create using this set. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified about future videos. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!